Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic and another day of Sudoku on the channel. We always attempt variant Sudokus, 2 a day, one by Simon and one by me. And, well, sometimes, very occasionally, other puzzles apart from Sudoku. But that is the format of the channel. Fridays, there's a cryptic crossword masterclass. So loads of content, generally very little editing on the videos, one take because... that way it's clear we have solved the puzzle live rather than just cutting in elements of the solve. I think people find it weirdly a bit more entertaining that way, so that's what we do. And we really enjoy the genius Sudokus we get sent by so many brilliant constructors. Since we began the channel, the kind of... What do I mean? The plethora of constructors that have emerged or continued or improved their handcrafted Sudoku setting has just burgeoned. And Tall Cat is today's constructor. He is one of the ultimate setters and a name to strike fear into any Sudoku solver. So you will already be able to tell from the video length to some extent how hard this puzzle is. I don't know at the moment, but I see the name Tall Cat and it gives me quite a good idea. You know, I imagine Tall Cat sitting in his very tall cat basket, cooking up these monstrosities for us. This one's called Swivel and it's just a Renban irregular. If you know what that means, I will explain the rules a bit later. I will first of all tell you about Patreon. Coming up tomorrow, the Planet Suite by Cracking the Cryptic. A hunt of 6 puzzles, and there is an answer at the end. You can get your name... Well, no, you can get your name onto a scroll of honour if you solve all the puzzles, but you can also be in with the chance of a prize. And we will be reading out a few names who send us interesting things. So look for that tomorrow. Join us on Patreon if you haven't already. It's $2 a month to get the hunts, $3 a month to get solution videos. Talking of which, I believe later today we will be putting up... Oh, they should be out by the time you see this, actually. Later today for me, earlier today for you. Demono's solution videos to the incredible Jewels of Osiris hunt. That was this month's, May's, Patreon reward. So there's always a new Patreon reward at the start of the month. We do like to reward our Patreons for helping us with the channel. Thank you very much. And of course, especially the high contributors who feature on a list that we put up. Well, I put it up at the start of each video, I think, these days. So thank you very much to them. Now, what else have we got? Oh, I'm also going to thank Glum Hippo for testing the puzzles in the Planet Suite. Very kind of him, and his input greatly appreciated. So we will be dealing with that in due course. You can get all our apps straight away by following the link under the video, and also our merchandise and Sven's Sudoku Pad, where you can input your own Sudokus and play them on our brilliant software. And I say our in full knowledge that it's nothing to do with me or Simon. It's been originally created by Cappleman-Lynes and developed fantastically by Sven. And we are very grateful to them both. Anyway, enough waffle. Let's look at the rules of this puzzle. So it is not normal Sudoku rules. You have to place 1 to 9 in each row and each column as normal. But there's no 3 by 3 boxes. There are marked regions of 9 cells, and they must contain 1 to 9 as well. Now, a purple line contains a set of consecutive digits in any order. So this line could contain 789 or 654 or 234 in any order. That's how it works. Sometimes the rules of Renban say non-repeating digits, but I think that's obvious with consecutive digits, so we don't put it in our version of those rules. Right, do give it a try on the first link under the video to that's how to play Swivel by Tall Cat. Then you can come back and watch me struggle with it. I'm going to start doing that now. Let's get cracking. Well, I mean, it's easy to say let's get cracking. Then you look at an irregular puzzle with just 3 given digits. And I mean, these are not long or helpful Renbans as far as I can see. So is it about the shapes of the Ren bands? I think it, well, it has to be, because there isn't. Okay, there are other things. I don't know what is going to help us solve this puzzle. I can't even imagine at the moment, but there is interesting geography to do with Ren bands. And it may be exacerbated by the geography to do with irregular shapes. Oh, and there's the law of leftovers as well. But I mean, that's only going to be helpful when we start getting digits. Okay, the first thing I'm seeing is that this 2 cannot be on either of these Ren bands, because it sees every cell on them, either horizontally, vertically, or in the same region. Now, there are other cells here. That cell can't be on this Ren band at all either, because it still sees them all. Unfortunately, this cell could share a digit with this. So we may be having to think in terms of the overlapping of digit strings, although these are not long digit strings. You could easily put 3, 4, 5 on one of these Ren bands, and then one of the numbers couldn't be on the next one. I don't know, I'm just wondering, can one of them be 3, 4, 5 and the other be 4, 5, 6? And actually, I think they can, so that suddenly doesn't seem a very profitable line of attack at all. Right. How do you get started? I mean, these lines also have digits that see all of their cells. Well, a cell. That cell can't be any of the digits on this line because it sees them all. That one's in its box, those in its column, and those in its row. But I mean, it's not as if I have any candidates for this cell. The same is true down here, because there is symmetry around some of these Ren bands. Is that worth studying? Look, there are some symmetrical Ren bands here, and there are others that aren't. There's a lot of symmetrical ones. And then there are 2 other Ren bands. But none of them look helpful. I mean, this is a 2-cell Ren band, and that's a 3. Right. Okay, let's look at the other thing. Yes, okay, let's look at the other thing I said, which is the law of leftovers. Now, this is a very basic form of set theory. So, one thing you could do, I don't think this is particularly helpful here, but you could compare the contents of these 3 regions. Let's just colour them to show you the point. Those 3 regions must contain the digits 1 to 9 3 times each, because that's the rule for each region. It does. So that's 3 sets of the digits 1 to 9. But these 2 columns each contain 1 set of the digits 1 to 9. So if we subtract them, we're left with 1 set of the digits 1 to 9. And that tells us that these 2 shapes contain the digits 1 to 9. And I mean, there's a corollary of that in columns 3 and 4, which again must contain 2 sets of the digits 1 to 9, that the remaining green cells now must be another set of the digits 1 to 9. And I don't think any of that helps us solve the puzzle at all, frankly. What I think might be more interesting is doing a cut-off on these 3 rows. Okay, this is more interesting. Let's colour them orange, and they're 3 sets of the digits 1 to 9. Now, let's select these 3 regions. Missed. Sorry. Not that cell. Okay, and I'll make those blue. And that's 3 sets of the digits 1 to 9. Now, there's a lot of overlap between these 2 sets, but blue is 27 digits, which are 3 lots of 1, 3 lots of 2, etc., all the way up to 3 lots of 9. So is orange. Now, if we extract from those sets of digits all of these overlapping cells, we're left with these three, which must therefore be the same, because we took exactly the same digits out of one bag and exactly the same digits out of the other bag, and we left just 3 digits in each, and they must be the same ones. So the blue digits are the same as the orange digits. And that works because of the symmetry of the shapes. That works in the top half as well. The red digits are the same as the yellow digits. And that might help more. Yeah. Yeah, this digit. Which of the blue digits is this digit? Well, it can't be on the same Renban line. Oh, okay. What might be really interesting about these Renban lines then is their shape and what digits are kept off them. Now, I want to change my color scheme immediately. Okay, let's just remember this stuff for now. Sorry, I'm just going to get rid of these colors. And what I'm remembering is that those three, let's give them an alphabetical label. Oh, the letter tool's on, okay. If I say those three are A and these three are B, now I can use colors and say that this cell, where is that amongst A? It can't be there because it's on the same Renban, so it's there, and that must be exactly the same digit. So the two yellows are the same digit. Now I don't know how I'm going to work out what B and B are compared to those, but I can remove the letter markings from those cells. Now, how does this help? Oh, it helps enormously. Look, where does this yellow cell go in this box? This region. That's fabulous. Oh, I see. Right, it can't go in those 4 because of normal Sudoku rules. Whatever digit this is, it can't go on this Renban line because of Renban rules. That's a consecutive sequence. There's no repeats. I probably should have put there's no repeats in the rule set. Anyway. It must therefore go here, and that's onto another Renban. Oh no, let's just keep trying to colour this digit in the grid. Yes, oh beautiful. Where does that digit go in this region, which hasn't got a yellow digit yet? Well, by Sudoku it can't be in any of these cells, and by Renban it can't be on this purple line. So there it is. So that's the bottom 4 yellows. Now, actually, before I tackle other yellows, I'm going to have a look at the equivalent cells in the top half. So we had our version of A and B up here, and this one in row 4 has to be there. So we'll make that red. It's the opposite of yellow in the colour wheel. And then we can presumably do the same thing. Yes, red in this region can't be in any of those cells, so we can put it in there. And then in this region, I think it has to be in this cell by Renban and Sudoku rules. And we are going to get symmetry. We might have a whole girth thing going on in this puzzle, although, well, that would be broken up by the 2 Renbans that aren't symmetrical, I suppose. Well, it could be broken up by those. Anyway, let's carry on. Now, can we do any more reds in... Yes, in row 5. Where's red here? It can't be in that... Oh no, I'm wrong. I thought it was... Sorry, I lost my mind. I thought we'd put it in this region, but we haven't. So it probably is in this region. Red in column 1 is in one of those 2 cells. That's worth marking. Red is not the same as yellow because they occur in the same columns. So red, yeah, there's a red in one of these 3 cells in this shape. It can't be there because of this Renban. There's a red in this box. Red can't be in any of those cells by Sudoku, so it's in... Ah, no, that's okay. Forget those for a bit. They're just looking confusing at the moment. But in this region, red has to be down in this area. In this column, red has to be down in this area. Now that's giving us a virtual X-wing on reds. The two reds that go into those areas are using up the two reds for rows 8 and 9. So this region, which needs a red, can't have it in row 8 or 9, and it's there. Now there's definitely a red in one of those two cells in that region. Ah, this is getting very limited. There is only one... Oh no, there are no cells left for red here. Okay, I must have done something wrong. I have done something wrong. I've forgotten that 6 could be red. Right, okay, the next thing I should have done, rather than... Please ignore any red pencil marks I've put in this region. They were all wrong. And we're going to get a digit. We're going to get a lot of digits. But the way I know that is because I'm trying to put a red into this region. And I've got vertical eliminations from all of those cells. So red is in one of those two, but it's already on this little renban. And that's the point of these little renbans. It's not what I was thinking about 2 being off them. It's red. Well, it's the fact that there's no repeat digits. So that's become red. And now in this box, those cells are ruled out horizontally. That is ruled out on the renban. And this can be and is red. And now we know what red is. Red is 6. Isn't that extraordinary? This is what Tall Cat does to you. Well, I don't know. Maybe to me. He messes with your brain and then leaves you just bewitched and bothered by what he's doing. This was not how I was expecting to solve this puzzle at all, as has been painfully obvious from the start. 12 minutes in, but I've suddenly got 6 digits, so I feel good about that. And I'm sure I can do the same thing with the yellows symmetrically. So let's take this a bit more slowly. It must be the same symmetry. So yellow can't be in those cells by Sudoku, so there is a yellow in those. Yellow in column 9 can't be in these regions, which already have a yellow, so it's up there. That virtual X-wing on yellows uses up the yellows for rows 1 and 2. Yellow in this central top box is there. Now we can put yellow in the central region. It has to be here by exactly the same sort of logic. Now we can consider yellow in row 5. Yes, we can. It can't be in that region or that region. It can't be here because of the renban. It is a 3. And that gets rid of a bit of colouring. Let's put 3 into those cells as possibilities. Let's jump into all the yellow cells and make them 3 and get rid of the colour because we've used it. Oh, I was going to get rid of red down here. And there we go. There is a nice clean grid with loads of 3s and 6s on. Now, this renban, we can go back to what I was thinking at the start. In fact, we're probably going to be doing numbers from here on in, having done geometry, as it were, before now. It's a brilliant idea, this. Anyway, this has to be a 3, 4, 5 renban because it can't have a 2 on it. So that's a 4, 5 pair. Now, this 6 can't have 4 and 5, either of 4 or 5 in those cells. So that's a 6, 7, 8 renban. And this is a 1, 9 pair in the box. This is, oh, one of them is 7 or 8, and one of them is 4 or 5 to complete the digits in the row. Now, this could be either 7, 8, 4 or 5. Could be any of those. But this one can't be 7 or 8 because it's on a renban with a 3. So that's 4 or 5. This is 7 or 8. What does that mean? This one could be the other of 7 or 8, or it could be a 5. And one of those two has to be a 7. Similar symmetry jobby here, I think. Yeah, this is either 4 or 5 to make up a 3, 4, 5, or it could be 2. And one of those is 4. You just have to be a bit careful. You see a 3 there. and a 4-5 pair there, and you think that has to be 4 or 5, but it's not necessarily true. Yes, I already made one highlighting mistake at least. Don't want to make any more. Now, where do we go next? I don't know. Yes, I do know. It's this. Yes, this region is lovely now. This Renban, rather. Look, this can't have a 6 on it. Once you've got a 5-cell region, I could have mentioned at the start, by the way, that every 5-cell Renban must have a 5 on, because every sequence of 5 consecutive digits runs through 5. This one does have a 5 on, but we now know it doesn't have a 6 on, because of this 6 and this 6 looking at the cells in it. So it must be 1, 2, 4, 5. And I thought that was going to help me, and it didn't. Oh, it's interesting. Oh, yes, it does, because they're all in this same region as well. The 1, 2, 4, 5 are, along with that 3. There's a 6 down here. Now, we're not allowed to put 7 down here, so 7's in one of those. These are all from 6, 7, 8, 9. That's really interesting here. That's really interesting on this sort of arrowhead Renban, because it doesn't have a 6 on it. So these aren't 6s, and therefore it has a higher digit on it than 6. That 6 sees all of these digits, so there's no 6 on this Renban, but there is a higher digit, so it must be a 7, 8, 9 Renban. Now I've got a 7, 8, 9 triple in this row, and now I'm going to get 1, 2, 4, 5s in the rest of the row. I'm never afraid to do multiple pencil marking. What I'm actually going to do is a bit of colouring as well. Let's make 1, 2, 4, 5s orange, because there seem to be quite a lot of them around. Cells that can only be 1, 2, 4 or 5. And if I can find regions with only 1, 2, 4, 5s in, if I can find rows or columns or regions with all of their orange 4 cells marked, then it may help. Like it might help here. Because if I could say that these weren't from 1, 2... Oh no, they have to be from 1, 2, 4, 5 to attach to a 3 on a Renban, so that's 2 more orange cells. It might help up here, where these could be 4, 5, or they could be 7, 8, or they could be 5, 7. It's getting interesting though. I mean, that may not turn out to be the best way of doing this, but it's the way I'm looking at it now. So, we've got 3 oranges already up this column, and 3 up this column. Let's think about this Renban, which cannot have a 3 on it. Now that's a slightly different situation. Okay, girths doesn't apply in this puzzle, because it's not really maths or arithmetic, it's just sequences in it. And 3 and 6 are not symmetrically opposite sequentially. Anyway, that's just a bit of theory. 6 is on this line, and 3 is not. What are the possible fills for the line? Well, it's either 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's why it's not symmetrical with this line, which only had 1 fill possible. But the numbers must come from 4, 5, 7, 8, or 9, and they must include 5, 7, and 8. That means this cell, which sees all of those, could be 1, 2, 4, or 9. I can't quite make that orange on the strength of that candidature. Candidacy, I think those are both words. Right. Now what? I don't know. That's the only Renban I haven't looked at all. I suppose I haven't done anything with this one. Okay, I'm going to mark up this one. The only candidate digits are 4, 5, 7, 8. I think my orange scheme might turn out to be wrong, but I'm not going to delete them till I know that. I just want to keep thinking about what we've got going on. Ooh, the law of leftovers thing. So those, oh yes, I did A's and B's, didn't I? Let's get rid of those now. But, well, no, let's not entirely get rid of the connection between those cells. Like, the yellows have to match the greens. I don't know what to do with that. What about other law of leftovers? So what we discovered at the beginning was this was one group of, this was an extra region of 1 to 9. And this was another one. So the 6 and the 3 are done in that region. No. No, that doesn't seem to be very helpful. Am I going to have to discover some other cell? Yeah, look. Look, these 3 sticking out from column 7, 8, 9 must be the same as these 3 sticking into it. That's how this law works. And these 3 must be the same as these 3. It's not really very useful as far as I can see. Now I'm missing a trick now. Okay, what about the central column? The central row was actually very helpful and could be divided down quite hard. Oh. Well, I'd like to actually start colouring my 1, 2, 4, 5s in different colours. Or maybe I should do that with 7, 8, 9s. That's quite an interesting thought. Or I've almost got a set of, oh, there's a 7 in one of those. Why? I didn't really do the pencil marking very well here, did I? There's definitely a 6 there. This is almost a quadruple. If that was a 7, 8 pair, it would be a quadruple. Then all these would go orange. I don't know. I was going to look at this central column. I've got 2 out of 7, 8, 9 on it already. Oh, that can't be a 2. That's interesting. That means this can't be a 1. I don't know what I'm doing, do I? One of these is orange, maybe 2 of them. Unknown number of those are orange. Oh, okay, here's a little tidbit. In this row, I need 3 more oranges that can't be in those cells. They can't all be in these because that would make 5 in a region. So at least 1 orange is here. That means at least 1 orange is... No, it doesn't. They could both be here. I don't know. Oh, come on, Mark. Think of something better. I mean, this was great progress for a while. Then it's really stumbled. Oh, there's a 4 in one of those cells. And they're both in the same region with these. And they're looking at that. So one of these 2 is a 4. That doesn't tell me anything, does it? I can't see how it does if it does. I'm really missing something badly now. Those 2. Okay, this is an extra region. of 1 to 9 based on the shapes in the first 4 rows. Maybe I need to think about where the orange cells are in this region. I don't think that's the way. Oh, come on. I need to do more colouring. I think that is definitely the answer. 7, 8, 9s. Let's have a look at 7, 8, 9s, because I can colour those non-orange and it's still meaningful. So, this is dark green. That, or let's make it blue. That is on this 7, 8, 9 somewhere. It has to be there. Oh, the fact is one of those is a 7, so that's relatively straightforward information. So if I was to colour this and that, I don't know, no, let's not start with that cell. Let's start with this cell. That, okay, let's make that blue 7 or 8. That one can be the opposite. Let's call it grey 7 or 8. That is grey 7 or 8. Now that's not grey. So one of those two is grey. Ah, grey is not in those cells, so it's in one of those two. Yes. And grey and blue are both looking at this, and one is 7 and one is 8, so that becomes a 9. Right, that'll do. That's something. Now I'm down to grey and blue 7 and 8 in these two. That one's blue, so this one is definitely grey, and that is not grey. Blue in this region, no, in this row, blue is now here, because there's no 9 in that. That is 7 or 8. Okay, this was worth doing. We've now got a 7-8 pair looking up top. Now we've got a 4-5 pair in the column, so that's a 1 at the bottom. Yes! Okay, so that's 2. That's not 2. That's not 1 or 2. This is a 9 in column 5. It's the only place left for a 9. This one can't be 8 on the Renban anymore. It could still be 7, in which case it would be grey. That might be blue, or it might be 5. That's the sort of weird thing you end up saying in a Cracking the Cryptic video. This one can't be 7 or 8 because it sees both colours. Maybe I need to look for cells that see both colours. So it's not 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 6 are in its region. So it's 4, 5 or 9. In fact, 9 in this column can only be in one of those two cells. That's a 7, 8 pair in this region. So this is now a 6, 9 pair. I thought that was going to do something significant for me, but it doesn't. 6, 9, 3. So we've still got all of 1, 2, 4, 5 to place in this column. And I could put them in those cells if I knew that wasn't definitely a 5. I still don't think it's quite worth doing 4s and 5s yet in another colouring venture. Although it might be, I don't know. Anyway, let's just see if I can keep going on greys and blues at all for a while. There's probably regions where it's very difficult to get blue in. Yes, this region, I don't think any of those can be blue. So one of those two is. Grey in this region has 3 possible cells. Oh, I mean, there are things opening up a bit. Let's keep going with blue. Yeah, okay, that's very interesting. There's a blue in one of those two. There must be a blue in this box somewhere. That's using up the blues for columns 1 and 2. In this region then, blue can't be there. It's not 6, and it can't be there. So blue is in one of those two cells. And 7 and 8 have to be on this Renban. And blue is a 7 or 8, so it has to be there. That's a nice thought. So now, what else? In this region, blue can't be in any of those cells. Maybe even better in this region. Yes, I think this is good. Blue now can't be in any of those cells. It's 7 or 8, so it can't be in any of the pencil marked cells. So blue's in one of those two, and therefore not in this corner, and that is blue. 7 or 8 there. Now I don't know, one of those three. No. Ooh, that's not a 7-8 pair. That can't be blue or grey. So it's not 7 or 8. That is very useful. That is a 5. This must be a 7 because it's on this Renban. And now we know that grey is 7 and blue is 8. Excellent. Well, that feels like progress. Just taking some 8 pencil marks out now. Now, I don't think it means there's a symmetry thing that says this can't be a 4-5 pair. So, because we've moved away from that symmetry. This can't be a 5. Come on, 8s. What are you doing for me? Blue, blue, electric blue. One of those two is blue 8. I know which one, because I've got a weird hidden X-wing again. The blue in this box, which I want to call box 6 for various reasons, is in one of those cells. The blue in this box 4 is in one of those cells. And they use up the blues for those 2 rows. So blue in the top 2 rows is in regions... it's much more simple to just say where is blue in this region. It's there, sorry. I hadn't noticed that that was the case, but it's true. Now, one of these 2 is blue. Ooh, it's getting quite interesting up there because blue is 8 and 3 is in one of these cells. 3's in one of those cells, 8's in one of those. They're clearly not both on the Renban because it wouldn't work. And one of them must be. Yeah, I mean, it feels interesting. I don't quite know how. I've got 5 looking at this cell. Ooh, 4, 5. Come on, 4s and 5s. That's a 4. All that tells me is this isn't. It can still be 2 or 5. That can't be 5. 3, 1, 2, 8, 6. I think a lot of the rest of this puzzle is just unwinding and spotting things. So you carry on being better than me. There's no problem with that. Oh, look, this sees 9 and 4. That has become a 7, so I might as well colour it grey in case that helps me spot remaining greys. Not in the bits that are left of my hair. No, that is really interesting. Right. In this column, it looks to me like 7 now has to be up here with 3. And then 8 has to be in this cell, and obviously it must connect to 7 on the Renban. That sorts out our previous... Oh, I got 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the spot. Light, unwinding its X-wing. 7 has come off this. Now, one of those is definitely a 5, and the other is a different digit. Knowledge bomb. This is not a 5. That's 1 or 2, which also has to be in these cells. This whole orange thing went a bit to pot, didn't it? I didn't really ever use it. That's become the only blue cell there. I should have written in the number. It's odd that... Oh yeah, that's not blue. Okay, we're down to just an X-wing of blues on the sides. Maybe I will put 8 in, get rid of the colouring. Let's get rid of all the blue colouring. It's just not necessary anymore. Okay. One of these is definitely a 5. Because this is either 4, 5, 6 or 5, 6, 7. Therefore, that is not a 5 in the corner. And this is the 5. And the corner digit is the one that finally determines which Renban sequence is there. Now, we've got, okay, 5 gets a colour. We've got 1, 2 and 4, which are all coloured up here. That one can't be, no, I thought that couldn't be a 2, but I'm misreading the grid. 1, 2 and 4 also to place in column 8. And I'm probably going to have to start differentiating between the 1s, 2s, 4s and 5s in a moment. Well, no, 5s are going quite well. Maybe I should just highlight 5s. See where we are. Yes, there's an I-wing up there. I know that that's a 5, right. And that isn't, but again, that hasn't determined the makeup of that Renban. So 5s. Oh, I haven't got as many as I thought. I need a 5 in this region, in one of those two. I need a 5 somewhere here. No, I need a 5 in this region. So one of those two is a 5, and that's not. Now one of these two is a 5, and that's not. So we get the 5 in box 1, I want to call it. And I've got this wrong now, because there's nowhere to put a 5 in this region. Yeah, we didn't get a 5 there. That's what I got wrong. I didn't need to pencil mark 5s there. We already had a 5 in that region. Everything else I did is all right. Phew. But we need a 5 in this region, so it's in one of those two cells. That's what I should have been doing. Oh, in fact, there's a 5 there, so we know exactly where it is. It's quite difficult to see this. Maybe the orange colouring has been entirely counterproductive. What do you think of that? You think it's right. Oh, no, look! Look! Hello, orange colouring. Those 4 have to be orange, and that's a 4. Oh, well, I didn't need it. I could just have used the fact that that's a 7, but I didn't. I did it with the colouring. I'm going to get rid of all the colouring now in the whole grid, because I just don't think I think it's hindering me rather than helping me. Okay, there we've got a 1, 2 pair in the column. 9, 5, 1, 2, 3. That must be 6 and 4 now. These are 8 and 7, and I know the order. That does the 8 X-wing on the right. I've got 1, 2, that's a 1, 2 pair in the, sorry, in that box. So that's a 5. And that's not. That's a 1, 2, 4 triple. That's a 9. I've got 1, 2, and 9 to place in that box. That's 1 or 2. That can't be 5. 4. That can't be 4. I've got a 7 to put in up here along with 1 or 2. That must be 1 or 2 as well. That must be 7. That's not 4. This is from 1 to 5. Looking along the bottom row, maybe. No. Renban. It's just this one left, is it? Yeah, it is. 1, 2, 4, 5 set. I don't know. I'm not seeing how to use that immediately. Oh, the 1, 2 pair in this row. I'm seeing how to use that immediately. 4 gives us a 5 in the corner. And that can't be a 4. One of those is, this is not a 5. So I've got a lot of 1, 2 pairs left. I'm not going to colour them because I think they're going to sort of fall over. 4 must be in one of those two cells in the column, so it's not there in the region, and then we get a 1, 2 pair in the box, so it is there. Now in this row we've got 1, 2, 4 and 9. Hang on, something's available here, isn't it? No? Well, yes, that's a 9, sorry, in the region, that was obvious. 7, 6, 3, 9, 5, 8. So that's 1 or 2. That's 4. It's odd that I haven't quite finished off 7s. That's a 5, because this region needs one. That is 7 or 9. This is 4, 7 or 9. Oh, sorry, I said that was 7 or 9, didn't I? Yes. Now, everything is pencil marked. It must all finish in a heartbeat, in a jiffy. If I could just finish it in a jiffy, I would be happy. Yes, I'm sorry. It is obviously obvious how this works. And I cannot obviously see it. Okay, let's colour the 1s and 2s. Yellow and red. Why not? Then we just need to find somewhere they're both looking, don't we? Yellow, red, yellow. You'll probably spot it before I do. That's yellow in the region. That's red. That's yellow. It's that cell. Yes, it is that cell. That's being looked at by both red and yellow. So that's 7. That sorts out 7 at the bottom. This one becomes red, and that's a 1-2 pair in this column, so that's a 9. That's 1, and that is a colour. It is a yellow colour. So all the yellows are 1s. All the 2s are reds. We are very nearly finished now. That's a 4. That's a 1. 4 and 9, 6 and 9, 6 and a 4 in the corner to finish. Let's just get rid of all the colouring again before we do that. And that is a lovely, lovely puzzle by Tall Cat. Oh no, I didn't get a tick. So that is a hideous moment as I give my concluding remarks and I find out that I've got something wrong. I'm just scanning to find out what I've got wrong here. Oh, no, it's okay. I just hadn't entered a digit. There we go. Oh, phew. Okay. You solved the puzzle. The solution is correct. Oh, solve counter 126. This must be quite recent on Logic Masters Germany. And people are solving Swivel by Tall Cat in our software, which is what this is counting. So it doesn't matter that I set it up differently, given that I use the same title. Those counts are occurring. Anyway, very well done to those 125 people. Even better done to Tall Cat. That's a lovely puzzle with a really elegant break-in. And I enjoyed it a lot. Thank you, as always, for watching us on the channel, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.